I'm going to be a pilot one day. The words slipped out of me louder than I intended. I was 11, sitting on the cracked bench outside our small-town school, clutching a toy plane I'd bought at a garage sale. Laughter exploded around me. Did you hear that? Ryan, my cousin, smirked. Ethan thinks he'll fly planes. Maybe paper ones, the kids howled. I gripped the toy tighter. Sophia Miller tilted her head, her golden hair catching the sun. She was the prettiest girl in class, the one I couldn't stop staring at. You? She laughed. Ethan, you can't even afford new shoes. How will you afford a plane? My face burned. I'll work for it. Work? Ryan leaned closer. Dreams like that are for rich kids. People like us stay here, scraping by. Get real. I am real, I muttered, though my voice shook. You'll see, Sophia rolled her eyes. Even if by some miracle you get in, they'll laugh you out. Pilots aren't. People like you. I wanted to yell back, but the words stuck. I just stared at the plane in my hands. Don't cry, Ryan teased. Come on, Sophia, let's leave the dreamer alone before he flies away on his toy. They walked off, still laughing. I sat there long after the playground emptied. At dinner that night, Mom noticed my silence. What happened today, Ethan? Nothing. Her tired eyes softened. She pushed the breadbasket toward me. Tell me, I hesitated. They laughed at me again. Ryan, Sophia, everyone, because I said I want to be a pilot. Mom's hands stilled. Then she smiled faintly. And what did you say back? That I'll prove them wrong. That's my boy. She reached across the table, squeezing my hand. Dreams don't belong to the rich. They belong to the stubborn, I smiled weakly. But what if they're right? She shook her head. They're only right if you let them be. Her words dug deep. The next morning at school, Ryan found me again. Hey, dreamer, fly us to class today? Leave him alone, Daniel Hayes cut in. Daniel was my only friend, tall and scrappy, always standing up for me even when it got him into fights. Ryan smirked. Relax, Danny boy. I'm just having fun. Your fun is old, Daniel shot back. Maybe Ethan will be a pilot. What will you be? A professional jerk? The crowd chuckled. Ryan's jaw tightened. We'll see who's laughing when reality hits. Sophia walked by, glancing at me. Don't waste your breath, Daniel. He'll grow up and realize flying was just a child's fantasy. Something inside me snapped. You'll see, I said loudly. One day I'll fly higher than you'll ever dream. The playground went silent for a second. Ryan sneered. Big words for someone who can't even ride a bike without wobbling. Doesn't matter, I shot back. I'll make it happen. Sophia laughed again, tossing her hair. We'll remember this when you're stuck pumping gas at the station. Daniel nudged me after they left. Don't listen to them. You've got more fire than all of them combined. I'll prove it, I whispered, almost to myself, even if it kills me. That night, lying on my thin mattress, I stared at the ceiling. The voices of their laughter replayed in my head, sharp and mocking. But beneath the shame, a strange energy surged. I whispered into the dark. I'll prove them wrong. No matter how long it takes, no matter what I have to do, my fists clenched. My heart pounded. Their mockery wasn't going to break me. It was going to build me. That was the night my dream stopped being a childish wish. It became a promise. Ethan, why do you always look at her like that? Daniel's voice cut through the noise of the cafeteria. I blinked, caught. Sophia sat 2 tables away, laughing with her friends. I shrugged. Because she's different. Different? Daniel raised a brow. She's popular, sure. She's pretty, sure. But she's not exactly kind. She talks to me sometimes, I defended. Yeah, when she needs help with homework. I frowned. That doesn't mean... Daniel leaned in. I'm telling you, don't give her your heart until she earns it. Otherwise, she'll crush it without even trying. I wanted to argue, but Sophia glanced my way just then, and my chest tightened. Later that week, I was cleaning tables at the diner. My hands ached, but I needed every dollar for Mom's medicine and my savings for flight school. Sophia walked in with her friends. Ethan, she said, sounding surprised. I straightened. Hey, Sophia, you work here? Yeah, nights and weekends. She tilted her head. That's hard-working of you. Her friends giggled behind her, but I ignored them. I'm saving for flying school. Flying school? She repeated, eyes wide. Yeah, one day I'll be a pilot. She smiled faintly. That's ambitious. I like ambitious people. The words sank deep. For days, I replayed them in my head, convincing myself she saw something in me. At home, Mom coughed from the kitchen. You're late again. Double shift, I said, pouring her water. Her face looked pale, but she smiled. You're doing too much. I can handle it. The savings are growing. I'll get into school, she touched my cheek. Don't forget to live a little, Ethan. I thought of Sophia. Maybe I am. The next morning at school, Sophia caught up to me. Hey, Ethan, my heart stuttered. Hey! She walked beside me, her perfume soft in the air. I told my dad you're saving for pilot school. He laughed, but I said you're serious. He laughed. She shrugged. Don't take it personally. Adults think money decides everything. I clenched my fists. Money doesn't decide dreams, she smiled. I like that about you. You don't give up. I felt lighter than air. Daniel cornered me at lunch. So you're spending more time with Sophia? She believes in me, does she? Or does she like the way you look at her? You don't understand, I snapped. She's not like the others, Daniel sighed. I just don't want to see you get hurt. Remember what I said. Make her earn it. I will, I promised, though inside I already felt like she had. One evening after work, I walked Sophia home. The streetlights flickered and the air smelled of rain. You really work this hard every day? She asked. Yeah, between school, the diner, and taking care of Mom. I don't have much free time, her voice softened. That's kind of impressive, I laughed nervously. Not really. It's just what I have to do. She stopped at her gate, turning to me. Most guys I know brag about video games or cars. You talk about flying and helping your mom, it's different. The way she said different made my chest ache in the best way. Later, I told Mom. Sophia walked home with me. Mom gave me a knowing look. Sophia Miller? Yeah, she's not what people think. Or maybe she's exactly what people think and you just don't see it yet, Mom said gently. I frowned. Why does everyone say that? She chuckled softly.
Because love is blind, sweetheart. Just
be careful, but I didn't want to be careful. I wanted to believe Sophia's smile meant something. A week later, Daniel and I sat on the bleachers after gym. You're quieter lately, he said. I've been thinking a lot. About Sophia? I nodded, he groaned. Ethan, you're killing me. What do you even like about her? She listens. She smiles when I talk about flying. She doesn't call me crazy anymore. Daniel shook his head. She's feeding your hope, not your heart. There's a difference. You're wrong. I hope I am, he muttered. But don't say I didn't warn you. That night, lying awake, I replayed Sophia's words. I like ambitious people. You don't give up. It's different. My chest swelled with warmth. I thought of her laugh, her hair catching the light, the way she made me feel seen. Daniel's warning whispered in my ear, but I ignored it. I wanted to believe she cared. I needed to. I burst into the diner, out of breath, clutching the acceptance letter. Sophia! I shouted, searching the crowded booths. Daniel looked up from the counter. You look like you won the lottery. Better, I grinned. Flight school. I'm in. His eyes widened. You did it? I did it. I have to tell her. I rushed outside, heading toward Sophia's house. The letter shook in my hand. Years of saving, working, late nights, it had all paid off. But as I turned the corner by the park, I froze. Sophia stood under the street lamp, lips pressed against Ryan's. His hand rested on her waist. The world tilted. Wait. My voice cracked. They pulled apart. Ryan's smirk spread instantly. Well, look who it is! Sophia blinked, then laughed nervously. Ethan, this isn't what it looks like. It looks exactly like what it is, I whispered.
You with him?
Ryan slung an arm around her shoulders. Don't act surprised. Did you really think she was waiting for you? I stared at Sophia. Tell me he's lying. She bit her lip, then exhaled sharply. Ethan, you need to stop living in a fantasy. You're not... Him! My chest tightened. I've been working every night, every weekend, saving for years. I just got accepted into flight school. I came here to tell you because I thought... She laughed, cold and sharp. Flight school? That's cute. Do you know how many actually make it? Do you know the money it takes? You'll drop out before you even touch a cockpit, Ryan grinned. Sophia deserves someone who can give her something real now, not someone chasing clouds. You? I spat. You've never worked a day in your life. You live off your father's scraps. His eyes darkened. Careful, cousin. Sophia tugged his sleeve. Let's go. This is pathetic. No. My voice cracked. Sophia, you told me you liked my ambition. I said I liked your attention, she cut in, her smile twisting. You made me feel special. But you, a pilot? Stop. You'll always be that poor boy with hand-me-down shoes. Ryan's real, you're a dream. The words sliced deeper than any knife. Daniel's voice echoed in my head. Don't give her your heart until she earns it. But I had, and she shattered it. You'll regret this, I whispered. Ryan smirked. The only regret here is yours. Thinking you could rise above your place. I turned and walked away, the letter crumpled in my fist. Behind me, their laughter followed like nails on glass. At home, Mom was coughing violently. Ethan? She croaked. I sat beside her bed, still shaking. I got in, Mom. Flight school. Her eyes lit weakly. You did? Yeah, my voice cracked. But, Sophia, she gripped my hand. Don't tell me she's more important than this dream. She chose Ryan. Mom's expression hardened. Then she doesn't deserve you. I thought she cared. She cared about what you gave her. Not you. Her breathing grew shallow. Listen to me, Ethan. People will laugh. People will betray. But the sky doesn't lie. Go claim it. Tears blurred my vision. I don't want to lose you. She squeezed my hand. You won't. I'll always be with you. But don't let anyone steal your wings. The next day, Daniel found me outside the school, slumped on the bench. You look like hell, he said softly. They're together, he sighed. I warned you. I know. My throat burned. But it hurts worse than I thought it would. He sat beside me. What did she say? That I'm just a dreamer. That I'll always be poor. That Ryan's real and I'm not. Daniel clenched his fists. She's wrong. You got into flight school. That's more real than anything Ryan's ever done. I stared at the ground. I wanted her to be proud of me. She laughed. I nodded, his jaw tightened. Then forget her. Use it. Let the anger push you. I can't forget the look on her face. Then don't. Remember it. Remember it every time you want to quit. Make it fuel. That night, Mom's coughing worsened. I sat by her side, holding her cold hand. Stay strong, she whispered. Don't let them break you. I feel broken already. You're not. You're just hurt. Broken means you stop moving. You haven't stopped yet. Her voice faded with exhaustion. I pressed my forehead against hers, silent tears falling, lying awake. I replayed it all, the kiss, their laughter, Sophia's voice saying I'd never be more than a poor boy. I clenched my fists. I swore to myself, I will never forget this night. I will never forget her words. One day I'll fly higher than she can even see, and she'll know exactly what she lost. I woke to the sound of my phone buzzing. Ethan, it's the hospital, the voice said. Your mother. She didn't make it. I'll be there, I said, and the words fell like stones. In the waiting room, Daniel sat across from me. How are you holding up? He asked. Like I'm drowning, I replied. I can't breathe. Daniel rubbed his temples. She was the strongest person I knew. She wouldn't want you to fall apart. She was all I had, I whispered. Now I have nothing. You still have your dream, Daniel said. And you have me. I don't even have money for the funeral, I said. We'll figure it out, Daniel promised. Don't let them win by watching you quit. After the funeral, the house felt empty, like a room with the lights turned off. I sat on the floor, the acceptance letter to flight school folded in my pocket. What's the point? I asked no one. Mom's voice echoed in my memory. Dreams don't belong to the rich. They belong to the stubborn. You said that, I told the air. But I'm tired. Daniel came over, rubbing his hands. You can sell some things. Get a loan. Do whatever it takes. I can't ask people to help. I'm ashamed, I admitted. Daniel slammed his palm on the table. Ashamed? For wanting to fly? No. You'll regret quitting more than you'll regret asking. I don't want charity, I said. I want to earn it. Then earn it, Daniel said. Sell the old radio. Sell the watch. Take a small loan. Start training. I'll have to leave town, I said, thinking of Mom's empty chair. You'll go where you need to. I'll help. I'll work extra shifts. We'll get you in that school. I hesitated. What if I fail? What if I put all this down and it collapses? Daniel's voice was steady. Failure is better than regret. You'd rather say you tried, right? I swallowed. I'd rather fly. The days blurred. I walked the market, selling my things. Old radio, anyone? I called, hiding my hands shaking. A man offered bills. It's not much, but it'll help. I counted the money with trembling fingers. It felt like a betrayal selling the last of Mom's things, but it also felt like a promise to her. At the bank, I signed for a small loan. The clerk smiled politely. We'll need a guarantor. Daniel stepped forward. He has me. You sure? The clerk asked. Yeah, I trust him, Daniel said. Training started and it hit me like a storm. You're late, the instructor barked on the first day. Sorry, I said, breathless. Pilots don't apologize for being late. They plan. The instructor's eyes cut through me. Prove you belong. I learned to make my bed at dawn and study until midnight. How do you handle the math? I asked one of the cadets. You practice, he said. And don't give up. Nights are hard, I admitted. I keep thinking about Mom. Use it, Daniel said when I told him. Let it push you. There were days I couldn't get out of bed. I can't do this, I told Daniel over the phone. Yes, you can, he replied. You're still here. That means you can. When the bills piled up, I worked extra shifts and borrowed against the small inheritance. You're doing too much, a neighbor warned. I have to, I said. This is everything. At night, lying on the creaky cot, I whispered, I won't let them win. I'll make it to the cockpit. Sometimes the grief felt like a weight pulling me down. Other times it felt like a furnace, burning away the fear until only resolve remained. I promised myself I would not break. I promised Mom I would fly. One afternoon, Daniel slapped my shoulder. Remember when you said you'd fly no matter what? He grinned. I remember, I said. It's why I keep going. You're doing it, he said. Slow. I feel guilty sometimes, I admitted. Guilt doesn't build planes, Daniel said flatly. Courage does. His words landed like a soft hand on my back. I nodded, feeling promise tighten, always. Carter, you're late again, the instructor barked. I was up studying navigation charts, I said, panting. Excuses won't keep a plane in the air. Move faster. Laughter rippled through the cadets. One of them whispered loudly, Poor boy can't even afford a proper watch. I clenched my fists but said nothing. During lunch, another cadet smirked. So Carter, you planning to buy a jet with coins from the street? I met his eyes. No. I'm planning to fly one with skill. He laughed, but I saw doubt flicker in his expression. Later that week, we ran endless drills. My hands blistered on the controls, sweat dripping into my eyes. Again, the instructor ordered. I can't, I muttered. You can, came a calm voice behind me. I turned. A man with silver hair and sharp eyes stood there. Captain Reynolds, the instructor said. Reynolds studied me. Why do you hesitate? I'm tired, I admitted. He nodded. Fatigue is normal. Giving up isn't, remember that. Yes, sir, I said quickly. He walked with me after drills. I hear you come from nothing. That's true, I said. Good. Nothing builds hunger better than having nothing. Use it. I try, I told him. Don't try. Do. His voice was firm but not cruel. Show them you belong here. His words stuck with me. That night, when the others mocked my worn-out shoes, I whispered to myself, do. Don't try. Weeks passed. Tests got harder. I spent nights scribbling formulas, repeating radio codes until my throat burned. One morning, the instructor announced, simulation test. Fail and you repeat the course. Whispers filled the room. My heart pounded. Inside the simulator, I gripped the controls. Steady, I told myself. Altitude low. The system warned. I adjusted. Not today. When I landed, the instructor frowned. Almost flawless. Surprising. Captain Reynolds clapped once. Not surprising. He works harder than anyone here. For the first time, silence followed me instead of laughter. After class, a cadet approached. Carter, you did good. I almost didn't know how to respond. Thanks. That night, Daniel called. How's training? Brutal, I said. But I'm rising. You sound stronger. I have to be. I still hear Sophia's laugh when I close my eyes. Daniel's tone sharpened. Then turn it into fuel. I already am, I said. Every insult, every smirk, it all pushes me. The next day, Reynolds stopped me after drills. What drives you? He asked. I hesitated. Revenge, maybe. And survival, he studied me. Revenge fades. Purpose lasts. Find your purpose. I want to fly, I said quietly. For my mother. For myself. Then hold on to that, he said. It will carry you further than anger. I trained harder, longer. When others went to bed, I stayed in the hangar, running my hands over the panels, whispering the controls like prayers. Soon, the jeers turned into grudging nods. One cadet muttered, "He's crazy, but he's good." During formation drills, another said, "Follow Carter. He won't miss a turn." Hearing that was like water to a man dying of thirst. At night, exhaustion weighed on me, but pride kept me awake. "I'm becoming someone," I whispered to the empty dorm. One evening, Reynolds caught me studying alone. "Still awake?" "Yes, sir," I replied. He smiled faintly. "Keep this up and you'll be more than a pilot. You'll be a survivor." His words lit a fire inside me. For the first time in years, I felt the ashes of my old life shaping into something stronger. My new life was beginning. "Welcome aboard, First Officer Carter," the captain said, shaking my hand firmly. "Thank you, sir," I replied, my voice steady though my chest thundered with pride. The crisp uniform clung to me like armor. When I caught my reflection in the glass door of the terminal, I stopped for a second. "This is real," I whispered. Daniel called that night. "So, how does it feel?" "Like I'm living someone else's dream," I said. "No," he argued. "This was always yours. You bled for it. You earned it." I closed my eyes. I remember when Sophia laughed at me, when Ryan smirked. I told myself I'd prove them wrong. "And you have," Daniel said. "But don't let ghosts control you. Celebrate yourself." "I'm trying," I admitted. Years blurred by. Co-pilot days turned into long-haul flights across oceans, storms shaking us mid-air. Every time I gripped the controls, a voice whispered, "This is what you were born for." One morning, Captain Reynolds stopped me after a flight. "Carter," he said, "your instincts are sharp. You're ready for more." "More, sir?" Captaincy, command, the words rooted deep. I trained harder, studied longer, until the day came when the airline handed me my own set of captain's stripes. That evening, Daniel joined me for dinner. He stared at me across the table. "You look different." "Different how?" I asked, like a man who survived fire and walked out steel. I laughed quietly. "Inside, I'm still scarred." He leaned closer. "Everyone carries scars. Yours just remind you not to fall for the wrong people again." I hesitated. Sometimes I wonder what I'd say if I saw Sophia and Ryan. Daniel's face darkened. "And I wouldn't beg," I said firmly. "Not anymore. I'd stand tall. Not for revenge, but for me." "That's the man you've become," he said. On my first flight as captain, I stood in the cockpit doorway, greeting passengers as they boarded. Their smiles, their trust. It felt heavier than any insult I'd ever carried. When the plane leveled above the clouds, I whispered to myself, "Mom, I did it." Daniel's words echoed later that night over the phone. "Proud of you, Ethan, but promise me something." "What's that?" "When the past comes knocking, and it will, don't let it break you again." I paused, staring at my captain's hat on the desk. "I promise. If fate brings them back, I'll face them as the man I became. Strong, unshaken." And for the first time, I believed it. I walked into the cockpit, setting down my bag. Routine checks, switches, gauges, until my eyes caught the passenger manifest. My breath stalled. "Sophia Miller, Ryan Carter, newlyweds, honeymoon destination." "No way," I whispered, staring at the names. My heart pounded, but I forced my hands steady. The flight attendant peeked in. "Captain Carter, ready for boarding?" "Yes," I said, my voice calm though my pulse raced. "Proceed." As passengers trickled in, I stayed in the cockpit, headset on, pretending to focus. Then I heard it. Her laugh. That same laugh that once mocked my dream. "Ryan, this is perfect," Sophia said from the aisle. I risked a glance. Sophia's hair was styled elegantly, her hand looped through Ryan's arm. He wore a smug grin, but when his eyes met mine across the open door, the color drained from his face. Sophia followed his gaze. Her lips parted. Ethan? I adjusted my cap, stood tall, and nodded once. Welcome aboard! Her eyes widened, disbelief flashing across her face. Ryan muttered, Impossible. The attendant smiled, oblivious. Captain Carter will be flying us today. Ryan's jaw tightened. Sophia stammered, You're the pilot? That's correct, I said evenly. Please take your seats. I turned back into the cockpit, shutting the door with measured calm. My chest burned, but I kept my hands steady on the controls. The first officer chuckled beside me. Old friends? Something like that, I replied. When the cabin doors closed, I picked up the intercom. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Captain Ethan Carter speaking. Welcome aboard. Our flight time today will be 3 hours. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the journey. My voice echoed through the cabin. I imagined Sophia's face as she heard my name. The boy they mocked, the dreamer they ridiculed, now the man guiding their lives through the sky. As the plane lifted off, my heart pounded harder than any turbulence. Ryan had once told me I'd never amount to anything. Sophia had laughed in my face. Yet here I was, flying them toward their honeymoon. Mid-flight, the attendant entered the cockpit. Captain, a passenger in business class asked if she could speak to you. She said, her name is Sophia, I breathed slowly. Tell her the captain is busy ensuring everyone's safety. Understood. She left. I gripped the yoke tighter. My first officer glanced at me. You all right? I'm perfect, I said. Through the rest of the flight, memories clawed at me. My mother's last breath, Daniel's words, Captain Reynolds' advice. But stronger than all of it was the look on Sophia's and Ryan's faces. Shock, regret, disbelief. When we landed smoothly, I addressed the passengers. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your destination. It has been my honor to fly you safely today. As the doors opened, I stepped out in full uniform. Sophia stood frozen near the exit, her lips trembling. Ryan avoided my eyes, his face pale. Thank you for flying with us, I said evenly, nodding at each passenger. When Sophia reached me, her voice cracked. Ethan, I raised a hand, cutting her off. Have a wonderful honeymoon. She blinked rapidly, tears forming. Ryan clenched his jaw, dragging her past me without a word. I stood tall, greeting the next passenger with a steady smile. For the first time, I wasn't the boy they mocked. I was the man who had achieved the impossible. Altitude steady at 35,000 feet, my first officer said. Maintain course, I replied, though my focus drifted beyond the cockpit walls. When the attendant brought us coffee, she lingered. Passengers in business class are impressed, Captain. A few recognized you from the airline magazine. I nodded. Thank you. As she left, her words stirred something in me. People were proud of me. Not laughing, proud. I slipped into the cabin for a quick check. Passengers smiled, whispering, That's the captain. One elderly man shook my hand. You fly steady, son. Reminds me of my Air Force days. Thank you, sir, I said softly. Behind him, Sophia's smile flickered, forced, her eyes fixed on me. Ryan slouched beside her, pretending not to care. As I passed, I heard her whisper sharply, You spent too much on that watch. Ryan muttered, Relax. It makes me look successful. Successful? She scoffed. You're drowning in debt. He leaned closer, voice low but bitter. And whose fault is that? You wanted the expensive wedding. I walked on, keeping my face unreadable, though inside I felt an odd mix of satisfaction and pity. Later, when I made another round, a passenger clapped my shoulder. Captain Carter, you're an inspiration. My son dreams of flying too, I smiled. Tell him never to stop believing. Sophia's head dipped as if the words pierced her. Ryan shifted uncomfortably. Back in the cockpit, my first officer grinned. They love you out there. I never thought I'd hear that, I admitted. He laughed. Get used to it. But my thoughts returned to Sophia and Ryan. Their voices echoed in my memory, her laughter, his mockery. Yet here they were, bickering, restless, their marriage already fraying at the edges. Daniel's words rang in my mind. Don't let the past break you again. I stared at the horizon through the cockpit window, the endless sky stretching wide. I don't need revenge, I whispered. What was that? the first officer asked. Nothing, I said with a small smile. The truth was clear. Their regret was already written in their eyes, and I didn't have to lift a finger. The landing was smooth. As the engines wound down, I made the final announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Thank you for flying with us. Applause followed, and I stepped out of the cockpit. Passengers thanked me one by one. Then I saw them, Ryan and Sophia. Ryan forced a grin. Cousin, long time? You've done well for yourself, I met his eyes. It's been years, he chuckled awkwardly. Guess you proved us wrong, huh? I extended my hand calmly. Safe travels, Ryan. His grip tightened too much, masking envy. We should catch up sometime. I doubt we have much to talk about, I said evenly. Sophia stood slightly behind him, her face pale. She opened her mouth, but no words came. Captain Carter, a passenger called from behind. Wonderful flight. I smiled at them, then glanced back at Sophia and Ryan. My silence spoke louder than anything. Ryan cleared his throat. Proud of you, cousin, I nodded once. Thank you. I turned away, walking toward the terminal doors, my steps steady, my uniform crisp. Inside, though, my heart thundered. Rage, grief, triumph, all clashing at once. But beneath the storm, I felt something else. Closure. Their humiliation didn't need my words. My silence was the revenge. For the first time, I walked away free. The hum of the engines filled the cockpit, steady and reassuring. I adjusted the controls and looked out at the horizon. Clouds drifted like mountains in the sky, the sun bleeding gold over their edges. Daniel's voice came through my phone the night before. So how did it feel? Seeing them again? I'd paused, staring at the ceiling. Like a storm I'd already survived, he chuckled. That's your answer? Poetic, but vague. I didn't need revenge, I told him. My silence said enough. And did it heal you? He asked. Not heal, I admitted. But it freed me. The intercom buzzed. The attendant asked, Captain, ready for announcements? I pressed the button. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Captain Carter. We're cruising at 37,000 feet. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the view above the clouds. My voice echoed through the cabin, calm, assured. I smiled faintly. The first officer glanced at me. You always sound like you're talking to ghosts when you make those announcements. Maybe I am, I said softly. Old memories? Old scars, I replied. But scars keep me steady, he nodded. Whatever works. I leaned back, letting the sky swallow me. Sophia's laughter, Ryan's smirk. They were part of me once, but they no longer held me down. They laughed when I said I'd be a pilot, I whispered, watching the horizon stretch endlessly. Now I'm flying higher than they'll ever reach. The engines roared, carrying me forward. For the first time, I felt truly unchained. The past had forged my wings, and I was free.